will follow. Introducing to you, on my right, fighting out of the white corner, wearing the colors of free Cuba on his trunks, red, white, and blue. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, weighing in at 146 pounds, the outstanding challenger, #1 contender, Luis Rodriguez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to present to you, fighting out of the black corner, wearing black trunks, from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, 145.5 pounds, the hard-punching welterweight champion of all the world, Emile Griffith. Now giving instructions, your referee, Tommy Hart. Judging at ringside, John Thomas, Lee Grossman. At the bell, it's Cliff Goss. Physicians at ringside, Dr. Robert Rock, Dr. Jack Eusine. May the better man win.
Tommy Hart, one-time middleweight fighter, many, many seasons ago, and a capable referee, talking to both Rodriguez and Griffith. With Griffith, we see his co-manager, Gil Clancy, and the co-manager of Rodriguez, Angelo Dundee. The fight is just about ready. 15 rounds or less. Round 1. Watch for the fancy, fast footwork of Rodriguez. Very fast hands. He's continually feinting with his front foot, the left foot. In other words, trying to get Griffith off balance to make moves. That best puncher around thus far, after about a minute into the 3 minutes. The right over a left. He's a fairly good counterpuncher. Halfway through round 1, and Emile Griffith, with more or less of a flat-footed stance, looking to get punching power, looking to stay on balance. Griffith is definitely the harder puncher. Beautiful counter again. The same punch he landed 1 minute ago. The right over the left. Seconds to go in this first round. Both fellows have started with somewhat of a slow first round. Good body dig by Rodriguez. We're near the end of round 1. We're looking into the corner of the challenger, Louis Rodriguez. The man in the ring inside the ropes is Angelo Dundee. Angelo will do the thinking. Right now, he's putting some Vaseline above the eyes and on the side of the body of Rodriguez. In other words, the reason for the use of Vaseline is so that punches would slide and slip. Won't carry full effect. Round two. Round two. The champion seems a bit more determined in this round. These fellows fought some 3 years ago in Madison Square Garden, New York City, at which time Griffith, just before he was champion, won a 1-point split decision. One thing we've noticed in the first almost 4 rounds of the fight, 4 minutes of the fight. Ooh, a beautiful right hand attack. I'm sure you caught that when our camera was right on it by Rodriguez. One thing I started to say that I've noticed in the first 4 minutes of the fight is that both fighters have gotten most of their heavier shots to the opponent's body. Tommy Hart, the referee, doing a nice job of standing away from the fighters. Beautiful shots by Emile Griffith. Rodriguez is not tying up the right hand. There he is, of Emile Griffith on the inside, and Griffith has been taking advantage of that free hand. Tommy Hart just yelled, "You're holding, Lewis." Rodriguez undoubtedly is not quite as strong as Griffith in close range. Halfway through this second round. I checked my time. About 10 or 12 seconds left in this round. And now we're shooting into the corner of Emile Griffith. All three of his handlers working over him. The towel spread over his chest and shoulders to keep those muscles warm and relaxed. Gil Clancy putting that Vaseline above the eyes, and Sid Martin on the right-hand side giving him that swig of water. Harry Albert just doing a bit of talking, although I feel that, yes, it is Gil Clancy that's telling Emile what he wants and what he does not want. Round three. Rodriguez's best punch thus far tonight, he's had a couple of good first round right hands, has been that left hook. California State Boxing Commission rules state that from welterweight on up to heavyweights, the fighters wear 8-ounce gloves. Under welterweight, 6-ounce. Rodriguez has been attempting, when he slips a lead, moves inside a punch, to flurry a bit toward the body, trying to pile up those points. And then as soon as the flurry dies down, Louis is kind of lost with the strength of the champion. One minute to go, and this is the third round. Tommy Hart, as long as one hand is free, is allowing the infighting to continue. In other words, when the hand isn't tied up. 30 seconds to go in the third round. Rodriguez countering all the time on the leads of Griffith near the close of the third round. Looking over again into the corner of the challenger. In their last fight some 3 seasons back, the first 6 rounds showed Louis Rodriguez actually out front. He set the pace, and then Griff came on. Now tonight, we've had 3 rounds go into the record books, go on the scorecards, and Rodriguez seems to be just picking his spots. Angelo Dundee talking to him, and talking a little harsh at this time, telling him perhaps some more leather, some more punches, Louis. We're getting ready for round 4. Both fellows are classic boxers. Rodriguez, if I might make a comparison, a lot like the Bernard Dukeson that we saw here on the West Coast, some 15, 16, 17 years ago. In, out, counters, moves, makes you miss. Griffith, on the other hand, very sturdy, deliberate. A little bit of the Jimmy McLarnin when Jimmy moved up to the welterweight division. Not the speedy, flashy, fast McLarnin early in his career as a featherweight and lightweight, but on balance, punching power. Halfway through this fourth round, remember this and all fights tonight are scheduled to go 15 rounds or possibly less. One minute more in round 4. I'd hate to be on the other end of some of those body digs. They've been hard. Each fella, knowing it's a long fight, looking at, good hook on the chin of Rodriguez, looking to slow down his opponent with body punches early in this fight. Seconds to go in the fourth round. Beautiful flurry by Rodriguez. The right uppercut, the best punch of the fight so far. Another good right and another one. 3 right uppercuts, all by the Cuban. Closing seconds of round 4. Now looking into the champion's corner, we'll notice from our vantage point, and we're right in a neutral corner, our executive producer, Bob Bennett, along with some of our camera crew, looking at Emile Griffith, I should say. He's not breathing hard. He seems to be pacing himself nicely. 12 minutes of the fight have gone in. Gil Clancy talking hard, though, hard to Emile, asking him to get off, meaning throw that leather. Round number 5. Rodriguez has perhaps the slightly longer reach, and he's using his fancy footwork and fast legs to an advantage at this point. Had 1 minute of this round in the 5th. As soon as Tommy Hart, the referee, sees the fellows are knotted up, he pries them apart. Tommy yells, break and step out. The fellas are fighting a clean fight thus far. Louis has been sharp with the right uppercut, close range only. Rodriguez certainly is not the puncher of a Griffith. Emile looked to feint, missed his bombs 3 times. Now, I could be wrong with a minute to go. I'm going to look closely for you. When Rodriguez gets out of that close range, let's look above if we get a shot at it. Above his left eye, there seems to be a skin wound right to the left and above the left eye, meaning that the cut could open up. It could develop into a cut. It's only a skin break at this time. 30 seconds to go in round 5. By Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the right over the left. Again, looking into the challenger's corner, we've had 1/3 of the fight complete. At the end of 5 rounds, how are you scoring it? In the state of California, they have what they call the simplified 5-point scoring system, where the winner of each round gets anywhere from 1 to 5 points, the loser 0. If you think one fellow has a slight advantage, you give it 1 to 0. If you think he perhaps piled up a few good points, it's 2 to 0. Rarely will you score a round better than 3 to 0. Simplified 5. Griffith, known to be a notoriously slow starter. He proved that last time out in Las Vegas when he defended against Jorge Fernandez, was losing at the end of 5 or 6 rounds, and then came on to throw the bombs. He was slow against Ralph Dupas in his defense. However, the ring record of Griffith shows that down the stretch, he's a tough customer. We're 1 minute into round number 6. Some of the Latin contingent upstairs yelling for more action. I believe, however, that Louis Rodriguez is content at this point of the fight to kind of box his way, dance his way, and pace himself. Griffith was really swinging on the inside. Don't know how many of those punches you could see. It was tough to stay in there with him. 1 minute to go in round 6. Ooh, a good right hand by Rodriguez. And Rodriguez trying to pile up those additional points in close range as long as he can tie Griffith's right hand up. Beautiful flurry again with the hooks by Rodriguez. The short left hook. Half a minute more in round 6. He certainly is flurrying more. The challenger has been putting punches together, as they say in the boxing business. Closing seconds now of the 6th round. Folks, here at Dodger Stadium, the fans are beginning to truly enjoy what promised to be a good boxing contest at the outside. On paper, as we try to analyze the two fighters, looking through the history of them, as we look into the corner of Griffith, we thought it would strictly be boxing, but Emile Griffith has been breathing a bit harder. The body digs of Rodriguez been telling a bit. Griff, however, in tremendous condition, good shape, will certainly, as we look at the ringside crowd, look to come on. We're getting ready for number 7. The old saying in the world of sport is you always stay with the champion until he's defeated. The odds going into this fight at ring time, at bell time, at a few minutes past 8 o'clock, Griffith was an 8.5 to 5 favorite. Both fellows, we notice, are very well greased up. Tommy Hart is allowing them to use, evidently, the extra bit of Vaseline. Tommy is doing a nice job of allowing them to fight when they're free to fight and breaking them when they're not. Griff looking to bomb away, but the elusive Rodriguez has been in, out, and around. We have about 1 minute to go in this 7th round, with 2 spectacular fights to follow. Davey Moore and Sugar Ramos, and then battling Torres and Roberto Cruz. Little less than a half minute to go in the 7th. And in this baseball park, this is where they say you take that stretch. But these fellas don't want that. 10 seconds to go in the round, and little Louis still looking to rally in close lane. Just looking around ringside and into the working press, some of the top sports writers of the nation are covering the fight. Jack Cuddy, Bob Myers from the various press services, Jack Stevenson, also Sid Ziff. Oh, and I see Jim Murray and Mel Derslag, to mention just a few. George Main, John Hall, Jack Hawn, some of the local writers around the Los Angeles area. The fight is getting tremendous coverage. And some of the well-known personalities at ringside, some of the movie stars, we'll talk about them later, some of the outstanding citizens of our town, getting ready for number 8. I've had the privilege of broadcasting 4 of Griffith's fights in the past and 3 of Rodriguez. And this almost always is the round where Emile Griffith has taken off, has started to go, has started to pile in, become more aggressive. Now let's see if Rodriguez, who has been pacing himself nicely, will allow Griff to do this tonight. Tommy Hart yelling, "Watch your head," to Griffith. Ooh, Griffith tried to take off as soon as he broke from the clinch, but couldn't do it. And the fans upstairs didn't like the move by the champion. Although it was all legal all the way. Oof, just missed that chin. Way back in round one, and now we're in number 8. In sizing up the fighters, I suggested that at long range anyway, you watch the fast, fancy footwork of the challenger. In and out, around, and he circles. Then he'll flurry, he'll tie his opponent up, and then he'll want to get out again if he can. One minute to go in the 8th. Griffith countered nicely, slipped inside of a hook and threw that short right hand, but we haven't seen too many of the short punches that Griffith tossed in previous fights. Half minute more, number 8. I've had the privilege of broadcasting 4 of Griffith's fights in the past and 3 of Rodriguez. And this almost always is the round where Emile Griffith has taken off, has started to go, has started to pile in, become more aggressive. Now let's see if Rodriguez, who has been pacing himself nicely, will allow Griff to do this tonight. Tommy Hart yelling, "Watch your head," to Griffith. Ooh, Griffith tried to take off as soon as he broke from the clinch, but couldn't do it. And the fans upstairs didn't like the move by the champion. Although it was all legal all the way. Oof, just missed that chin. Way back in round 1, and now we're in number 8. In sizing up the fighters, I suggested that at long range anyway, you watch the fast, fancy footwork of the challenger. In and out, around, and he circles. Then he'll flurry, he'll tie his opponent up, and then he'll want to get out again if he can. One minute to go in the 8th. Griffith countered nicely, slipped inside of a hook and threw that short right hand, but we haven't seen too many of the short punches that Griffith tossed in previous fights. Half minute more, number 8. Ladies and gentlemen, at the close of the round, after the bell had sounded, Rodriguez landed a solid shot. Near the end of that round, I didn't want to interfere and do any talking. It wouldn't have been good. The action was speaking for itself. But one of the commissioners is sitting to the right of Bobby Bennett. Bob, they didn't penalize Rodriguez at all, did they, Commissioner?
I don't believe so.
They did. Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Number 9. Commissioner whom we talked with, moved our microphones over, was Dom Taglioni of the California State Athletic Commission. And we're happy that he's sitting right near our microphones and cameras, should there be an infraction that requires a breakdown one way or the other. Beautiful short hook on the chin of Griffith. However, Griff got a good shot in on the inside against the body of Rodriguez. Just about halfway through this 9th round, with the champion still attempting to stalk his man, but that does not necessarily mean, if you're scoring with us, that he is the aggressor. The aggressor is the man who lands the punches, not necessarily the guy who walks forward. They exchanged beautiful left hooks. That was the best left hook. Ooh! Griffith was hurt with a jarring, jolting right on the chin. Looking into his eyes, I'm trying to look from our standpoint here, our vantage point. His eyes are not glassy. He's plenty okay. The pace for a boxing match, and we have half a minute more in round 9, has been very good. When George Parnassus made these matches tonight, and really he's been dreaming of this extravaganza for a long time, he made them all close contests on paper. About 10 seconds to go in the 9th round. Just talking for a couple of seconds off microphone to matchmaker, co-promoter George Parnassus, and kind of eavesdropping on how George is scoring the fight. He said it's the toughest fight to score in his book, leading us to the comment that we made in the 2nd or 3rd round that Griffith is certainly the heavier hitter. Rodriguez will land more leather. You'll notice Angelo Dundee had just completed working on the legs of Rodriguez. He almost always stands up going into the round about 10 seconds early. Round number 10. From the standpoint of weight, there's only a half-pound difference between these two. The champion 145 and a half. The challenger 146 even. Griffith seems to be a bit over-anxious. He'd like Rodriguez to stand still for just a few seconds. And that would be hazardous, believe me. Ooh. Griffith coming out of that clinch shot through that short hook, but he got hit with a short right hand. A slapping left hook. One minute to go, and this is the 10th round. It's been somewhat of a slow round. They're undoubtedly still pacing for that drive down the stretch, 11 to 15. Half minute more in the 10th. Rodriguez wants to stick. Ooh, a good right hand, but look at Rodriguez fire back. Griff landed the heavier shot. Louis, the more leather. Closing seconds of the 10th. We said that there'd be many of the movie set, and they're all cheering for either guy. Looking first into the corner of Rodriguez. Dundee still talking with him. Talking from a kneeling position. Angelo looking around. Tommy Hart said something to one corner. We're going to go into round 11. Tommy's going to walk back toward the Rodriguez corner. Don't know what he's saying. The only thing he could remind each fighter of would be the fact that we're moving into number 11. Now in the opposite corner, they've been warned about this is the 11th round. Griffith still looks mighty sharp. Both fellows look good. Round 11 coming up. Emile, the champion, would definitely like to punch it out with his challenger. But Louis wants no part of that idea of fighting. Beautiful night out here at Dodger Stadium, and a good crowd on hand. Halfway through this 11th round, the fighters are using, good punches put in there by the challenger. The fighters are using, Griffith landed a couple of real good grazing punches. They're using 8-ounce gloves. They're the Mexican-style gloves made by the Sayre Company with a bit of a protection under the thumb. Fighters like to use this particular style glove. They're bright red in color. 1 minute more, number 11. And about a half minute to go in this 11th round. Griffith tried to lean his weight on Louis that time. A pretty good trick, if you can get away with it, to tire a man, tire an opponent. Ooh. Griffith, for the first time, is the one doing a bit of the holding. However, he pried the right hand loose and got through a couple of points. Only 12 more minutes of fighting to go. And at this point, as we look in and see Gil Clancy, the co-manager, talking with Griffith, making gestures, he is begging Griffith to get off and punch. He's holding his hands now, and he's trying to tell Emile that he wants punches put together. He's still talking hard to him. He's still saying body and then chin. In other words, reach to the body and then bring it up to the chin. Gil Clancy wants combinations. He feels that the one-punch shot will not land. Getting ready for number 12. These last 4 rounds will tell perhaps the story of the World Welterweight Championship. What Clancy was trying to tell Griffith was that you're missing that one lead. Put punches together, and if you don't nail them with the first one, you'll land that second one. This fellow's too elusive. A left jab can do one of 2 basic things. And you'll notice each fellow looking to get what they call that left lead, and there it is. One, of course, it'll pile up a point for you. It'll get you points. It'll offset the other fellow. But 2, it will make the other fellow punch back at you, and then, of course, you can counter. So you'll notice that each man, early in each round, has gone to the use of the left lead. We're better than halfway through this 12th round. A hard boxing match. 2 different ring styles. Griff tried putting 2 punches together like Clancy told him to do. Rodriguez, when he flurries on the inside, is almost always pulling away while he's punching to keep his opponent off balance. Half minute to go in the 12th round. punch of the fight. Griffith landed a jolting right on the chin of Rodriguez. That was the best punch we've seen tonight. Closing seconds of the round. Look at Louis try to flurry him back in there with punches. Here at Dodger Stadium, ringside looks jammed, working press is jammed. Told you about some of the writers earlier in the evening who were here. And from the standpoint of movie crowd, there you see the writers, the guys with those caps right under the ring lights. Some of the fellows I know you'll identify by their pictures on the columns. And behind them we see, well, I see Stanley Kramer, one of the producers of some top films, and attorney Paul Caruso, one of the top sportsmen in town. Cal Eaton's son, attorney Bob Bennett, right in there. Bob Eaton, excuse me. Round 13. Rodriguez attempting to hook to the body and head, but Griff, too, is a tough target to get standing stationary and straight up. Each of these fellows have future plans of, a hook and a right on the chin of the champion. Each has future plans of moving up to the middleweight ranks. Eventually, anyway. Outgrowing the welterweight division. Halfway through this 13th round, the action has slowed down a bit. Oh, man. Griffith landed 3 fine punches. Emile has won, as we warned early, to come on and pull fights out of the fire. Very strong guy. A minute to go on the 13th. He uses that power and that sturdiness in a long fight. I still make it a rough fight if you're scoring the judge. Half minute to go in this 13th round. In other words, 6.5 minutes and the fight will be all over. The Rodriguez corner yelling at him. They're counting his punches. They're telling him to keep pumping, keep going. They're asking him to keep going, and he hits Griff with that right hand. Now the back of champion Emile Griffith as we get set for round 14. Again, Clancy talking and begging him to put that leather together. Let him go. We notice that Rodriguez, on the other hand, near the end of each round, as we look over toward the Rodriguez corner, Angela Dundee has been yelling with 15, 20, 22, 23 seconds to go, and we've been clocking him all the way through, has been yelling for a flurry. Number 14. These are the two big ones. Those of you who followed Griffith's career know that, not too long ago when he defended against Dupas, going into the last round, it was a very close fight. But in that 15th round, he had so much power, so much strength that, well, he punched Dupas from pillar to post. He had a big number 15 and therefore retained his title. Now we're in the 14th. Rodriguez getting more confident at this point. His jab has a bit more sting to it seems. Halfway. A good right hand and a good left hook from the chin of the champion. Halfway through this 14th round. One minute more, and number 14. Typewriters are beginning to pump the story out now, all around us. About 30 seconds to go in this 14th round. There goes the yell from the Rodriguez corner to put the punches together, start rallying. But he just can't seem to do it as yet. Here he goes. No, didn't get set. There he goes with the right hand, and they're still yelling for the flurry to steal the round. will get over to Jimmy, who is getting ready. He'll take his microphone, and we'll have it. Jim, go ahead.
Your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we have a unanimous decision. Judge Lee Grossman at ringside scores it 8-5. John Thomas, also judging at ringside, sees it 8-6. Referee Tommy Hart scores it 9-5. The new welterweight champion is Cubano, the elusive Luis Rodriguez.
Let's get the new champion over to our microphone. Luis Rodriguez. Hey, champ, how do you feel?
I feel good. I feel great.
Now tell me, Luis, will you give him a chance at your title?
I'm going to fight anybody in the welterweight division.
Carrera, Luis Manuel Rodríguez, en marzo, el 21 de marzo del 63, va a California a enfrentar a Emile Griffith en el estadio de los Dodgers, pero la historia entre los dos había comenzado antes.
Se enfrentaron un total de 3 veces durante sus carreras. Esta fue la segunda pelea. La primera vez que se habían enfrentado estos dos boxeadores fue en un 17 de diciembre de 1960, mientras que vemos a Luis Manuel. Esa pelea fue en Nueva York y Emile Griffith ganó una decisión de 10 rounds, poniendo fin a una racha de 35 victorias consecutivas de Luis Manuel Rodríguez.
Ahora venía la segunda, esta vez por el título mundial.
Así es, Norberto, por el título mundial welter, y era un escenario que estaba completamente lleno, el estadio, el nuevo estadio de los Dodgers de Los Ángeles.
Escuchen ustedes el recibimiento para los protagonistas, y aquí está el primer round de aquella velada inolvidable. Dos de los más completos boxeadores técnicamente hablando en esa categoría. Luis Manuel, ahora con pantalón blanco frente a Emile Griffith, un boxeador excepcional. En la esquina de Griffith, Gil Clancy, Sid Martin, Harry Albert. En la de el cubano, el grupo acostumbrado.
Así es, Angelo Dondi, Luis Arría y Ernesto Corrales. En la esquina para Luis Manuel Rodríguez, que aquí buscaba la consagración que desde 1956, como debutó como profesional, buscaba la oportunidad de ser un campeón mundial.
No se recuerda en la historia muchas veces un pleito de esta naturaleza, un clásico del boxeo, con tal paridad. Los dos técnicamente tenían las mismas aptitudes, los dos tenían la misma velocidad, los dos pertenecían a la misma generación. Griffith y Luis Manuel señalaron, sin duda, uno de los capítulos más salientes de la historia del boxeo. Y aquí los tienen ustedes, el momento culminante de Luis Manuel, cuando se va a consagrar campeón del mundo. ¿Cómo llegó? 47-2 a esta pelea contra 35-3 de Griffith. 146 libras para Luis Manuel, que había bajado acá 5 libras. 145 para Griffith. La paridad era absoluta.
Y estos eran dos boxeadores que estaban en su mejor momento, en su peso ideal, ambos. Así que esto prometía ser un clásico del boxeo, y así lo fue, como pueden ver ustedes.
Atención, aquí no solamente estamos disfrutando de este Luis Manuel, un gran boxeador, sino que vean también la técnica de Emile Griffith, con una velocidad alucinante en esa categoría. Y este Luis Manuel, que también sacaba esa derecha con un vértigo extraordinario. Un clásico del boxeo. Esto es, Jesse, definitivamente como para guardarlo y decir, si alguna vez hay que hablar de boxeo y de cómo se debe pelear, aquí está la muestra. Esta es la verdad, ¿eh? Vean el trabajo lateral, el movimiento de cintura. Sabían tanto los dos que no se sacaban ventaja.
En este primer round, ambos se estudiaron, Luis Manuel manteniendo la distancia, tratando de mantener alejado a Griffith con la izquierda, con el jab ese largo que poseía.
Tommy Hart era el árbitro de esa pelea y los jueces John Thomas y Lee Grossman. La pelea iba a 15 rounds y estaba en juego la corona del mundo.
Griffith había entrado como el favorito, de acuerdo a los apostadores en aquella época, 8,5 a 5 mientras se concluía el primer asalto.
Claro, venía de ganarle en una decisión a 10 rounds y esa era la razón por la cual las apuestas estaban a favor de Emile Griffith. Ahí está con pantalón negro. Estamos en el cuarto round, llevando la iniciativa a Griffith. Luis Manuel esperando para contragolpear con ese jab, frenando el ataque de Griffith. Un boxeador tremendamente rápido, un tigre echando zarpazos. Vean eso.
Y claro, pues la primera vez que se habían enfrentado estos dos hombres había sido una pelea muy reñida. Griffith ganó por decisión, pero la mayoría que estuvieron allá y que vieron esa pelea dijeron que Luis Manuel parecía estar marcando el ritmo y según muchos ganó los primeros 6 rounds de ese combate que estaba pactado a 10, pero cerró tan fuerte la pelea a Emile Griffith que le dieron la decisión.
El primer título, el cubano, Luis Manuel Rodríguez lo ganó el 20 de septiembre de 1958 frente a Kid Pichichi, en una pelea realizada precisamente en La Habana, Cuba, y no peleó fuera de Cuba hasta 1959, cuando peleó en Miami Beach y ya comenzó a formar parte del contingente de exiliados cubanos en los Estados Unidos. Qué buena pelea, qué rapidez de Luis Manuel y qué fiereza la de Emile Griffith, Es que vean ustedes cómo se van anexando los nombres y los capítulos de esta historia. Luis Manuel prolonga su campaña y pierde finalmente contra Nino Benvenuti. Griffith prolonga su campaña y pierde en última instancia la opción de ganar de nuevo la corona frente a quien le ganó a Benvenuti, que era Carlos Monzón. Estos dos hombres han recorrido el tramo más importante por el nivel técnico que ha tenido la categoría de los welters y de los medianos a través de toda la historia.
Aquí entonces está el 9º round de esta pelea pactada a 15 asaltos en el Dodger Stadium de Los Ángeles. Todavía los angelinos estaban gozando, saboreando esa movida que hicieron los Dodgers de Brooklyn a Los Ángeles en la década de los 50. Y ahí escuchan ustedes al narrador en inglés dando el mismo detalle que dio Norberto hace un momento. En 1958 el primer título de Luis Manuel Rodríguez, la corona welter allá en Cuba contra Kid Pichichi. Creo que nos lo adelantamos, ¿no? Por unos 30 años después.
Por unos 30 años después, ¿es verdad? Aquí está Luis Manuel Rodríguez, pantalón blanco, enfrentando a Emile Griffith. Segundo combate entre ambos, 21 de marzo de 1963. El árbitro, repetimos, Tommy Hart. La pelea era técnicamente de un gran nivel. Luis Manuel controlando con la izquierda en punta. Griffith esperando para arremeter. Griffith era más temperamento. Luis Manuel era más técnica.
Y aquí pues estaba gozando todo el público de Los Ángeles de este combate. Alrededor de 25,000 personas presentes para esta pelea en el Dodger Stadium en Chávez Ravine. Y la verdad, habían sacado hasta el último centavo que pagaron porque esto sí fue un clásico del boxeo.
Y además algo importante, Griffith iba a recorrer en la historia del boxeo un signo trágico cuando enfrentando a otro cubano, Benny Kid Pared, le iba a propinar un castigo tan duro que terminó con la muerte de el que era por entonces campeón del mundo, Benny Kid Pared. 15º y último round. Griffith arriba, Luis Rodríguez tocando y saliendo. En la culminación de una brillante carrera, en su noche más gloriosa.
Y una pelea que había sido bastante pareja, Norberto. Es más, algunos que estaban en el ringside decían que este último round pudiera decidir nuevamente el combate, igual que había sucedido en la primera pelea entre ambos boxeadores. El último round pudiera ser el definitivo.
Pero aquí Luis Manuel iba a ganar demostrando una técnica elevada, estaba pasando por un gran momento y con las 140 y pico de libras que había puesto en este combate, 146, estaba con una gran velocidad, con la rapidez y con los reflejos que lo habían hecho famoso. Vean, ahí está, esquivando, con movimiento de cintura y volviendo luego con la derecha baja, ahí está, a la izquierda abriendo el camino, frente a un Griffith que ante esa velocidad aparece como con alguna torpeza. Pero Griffith era un boxeador muy duro, muy fajador, y Luis Manuel muy astuto, muy inteligente, no dejándole fabricar el concepto del combate que quería Emile Griffith.
Y a este punto del combate, 15º asalto, hoy en día no se pelea a 15 rounds, hay frescura en los golpes que dan, ¿no? Todavía han regulado la energía.
Es verdad, está embravecido, enceguecido. Emile Griffith quiere ir a ganar, sabe que se le está yendo la corona de las manos, y Luis Manuel, tocando y saliendo, se va a convertir en aquella noche inolvidable en el nuevo campeón del mundo. Era la culminación de un trabajo de mucho tiempo, era la alegría grande de un boxeador excepcional. Luis Manuel Rodríguez, ahí está esperando, moviéndose con una gran rapidez, vean, indistintamente hacia uno y otro sector. Espera la embestida, se agazapa, se mete debajo, quedan otra vez enganchados y el público comenzaba a delirar porque percibía que la corona iba a ser para el cubano. Un último round áspero, con una gran entrega por parte de los dos. Nadie diría que esto es definitivo, ¿eh?
¿Verdad que no? Y una historia interesante acerca de este clásico del boxeo, el round 14 no existe en ninguna película, nadie lo tiene, por lo menos que nosotros tratamos de encontrarlo, y no existe el round número 14. Es una lástima porque queda perdido un round de lo que es verdaderamente un clásico del boxeo.
Ahí va Luis Manuel arriba. Está desesperado Griffith. Ahí está la campana y es el final. Aquí estaba el anuncio oficial, allá en California.
Judge Lee Grossman at ringside scores it 8-5. John Thomas, also judging at ringside, sees it 8-6. Referee Tommy Hart scores it 9-5.
El nuevo campeón del mundo, Luis Manuel.